when I asked Sheila, I said, so where would my office be? And she points to a room, it's got a big window in it, so it's not secure. How am I gonna put guns in there? I can't. How am I gonna put files in there that we don't want people to rifle through? I can't. Where would I have, if I'm going to have classes and presenters come in to try to earn some money for the museum, where would we meet? Well, it'd have to be in one of those 3 rooms. They're what, maybe 12 by 16? I don't think so. Where would I store my things? Now, we had a storeroom there. We emptied out one room at the auditorium, and the Friday before the movers came, they emptied a whole room out of the basement I didn't even know existed. And there is no secure place within the auditorium basement that I can put items that not anybody who wants to walk down any one of the sets of stairs wouldn't have total access to. There's no security system. There's the mold, there's the dirt, there's the dust that's going to come up the cement floors. The windows, we're back to not having UV screens on them. I mean, it's a very long list of things that just simply don't work. I've gone over with the intention of, if I have to have a museum here, how would I lay it out? And my mind couldn't even go there. The lights are brighter than the lights in this room. The venting is going to be loud when it runs. How do you do a tour when you've got heat vents or air conditioning vents going? There isn't even insulation around them. How do you get people that are handicapped down there? A freight elevator? That's not even legal to do. It's not meant for passengers. There's a sign in it that says not for passengers. Some of the farm equipment I don't think will even fit on that freight elevator. And you can't take it down the stairs. It took, just to lift it from the ground up onto a 4-inch platform, took 4 weightlifters from York College. It's easy to get it out. I don't know how you're going to get down the stairs. Don't think it's going to fit the elevator. The museum has such a potential if you just gave it a chance. And I know that you are sitting here tonight and will be for the foreseeable future saying, all right, Sri wants to have middle school age programs. And we have people that want a museum. How do we start weighing that? Quite frankly, my vision of what a museum could be, especially to entice children and families, is different than we have. It's going to take work. And it's the great unknown. But I'm 99% positive it's the right thing to do. And you've got Cherie that wants a program, and hers is equally unproven. How do you develop a program for middle school kids? They're in school 9 months of the year. They wouldn't be using that area during the school day. If they're in sports, they will have sports before and after the school year. And so they won't be there then. So the opportunity of the number of hours that would be available during the school year are going to be pretty minimal. That they wouldn't even be there. So why not flip them? Why not put the middle school kids that have the limited hours in the basement of the auditorium and leave the museum where it was? Give both of us 3 years to prove what we need to you to make it viable. Let me prove I can increase the people. Let me prove I can bring in dollars for you. Will it ever pay for 100%? No. But the Holthus doesn't pay for itself, the pool doesn't pay for itself. You've got a lot of entities that don't pay for themselves, but you are doing a service for the community. Let us prove it or fail. If you look at it financially, and only financially, the figure that Sheila gave me when we were looking at efficiency, she thought it would be...
Let me state my figure. I have worked with art museums a lot. I have been involved when they've done major renovations and different things. And I know lighting that we would be talking about. The freight elevator has to become a passenger elevator. Probably a single, some kind of restroom will need to be, because the restrooms are up steps. And I don't have anybody that I walked an architect through. I have architect friends that I talk to. I threw out the figure, to do it correctly, of $500,000 that it would need. Of course, that's a $100,000 elevator, probably. $50,000 at least for a bathroom. But then you're talking all the lighting to build the small rooms, the Victorian room, the Pioneer room, all of those, and get the correct lighting. Probably, I told that when we were in the small offices, if it's not a support wall between, that should come down so that one of those rooms would be bigger. I did say a good security door could be on the room I suggested for our office. Nancy, when we were there together, what did I tell you about my vision?
You see a vision.
Yeah, I see a vision for it there, but it'd be costly.
Yeah.
Do I see a very positive vision? Yes. So that we're different, but I just thought she needed to go over there and look at it too. We were very good at sharing. I said some things I know that hurt Nancy when I said that I know lots of parents of youth that are 25 to 50 that would love to have the community center be an all-kid family place. I know that hurt her, and she's given us so much time, and she knows how to deal with artifacts and things like that takes so much training. So everything she says, I think she probably could prove that the museum could be viable in the community center. I also think that the museum could be very viable if we're willing to really do some fundraising and different things being moved. She doesn't see that same vision. I really enjoyed, though, everything you've said, because her vision of how to do stories and making all the displays active are what sell families.
And I tried this afternoon to do a pros and cons for both places, and I struggled. So this is as honest of a list as I came up with. If you leave the museum in the community center, it has better visibility, especially those that are coming from outside York. So last summer we had, for about a month, maybe a little bit longer than a month, a flurry of people coming in because a Nebraska organization had us on a list for places to visit. And they were coming by cars, not by bus, so we had 4 or 5 come in, and pretty soon another 2 or 3 come in, and that went over and expended. That's one time doing it. Just think, that's one organization. Now I've talked, Vicky's here, Vicky and I have talked for a couple of years now about how we could mirror programs. If somebody's out on the farm, she can explain how that fits into the 1920, 1950 area, and then it points, the signage points to coming down to the Palmer to see how it was in the 50s, or excuse me, in the 1800s, early 1900s. So we're complementing each other. And that we could do that, even have flyers that we put out, or brochures we put out, that maybe the front is individualized for each of us, but the back has all of the museums in this area. We're not competitors. If they like history and they come to one place, they're going to go to the other places originally. I had 2 grants ready to go out, and I came and I talked to you, and I said, this is scaring me, because train keeps changing their dates, and I would have to be accountable month for month. I'm not sending them in, it's too scary. Imagine if I would have sent those in and I said we were going to be done by the end of this year. We would have just lost the funding. So I think it's got the viability. It takes being creative. It takes not being what we have been for 50 years to bring it back up. If you're at the community center, you've got expanded hours. Basically, the front door is open, the museum is open. And you've got staff on the outside, if me or whoever is in charge, they still have an eye view of what's going on there. If they were in the auditorium, you would have to have some kind of security system to monitor, of which we don't have. Even our security system that's in the museum that goes on tape, I don't believe is being moved on it. It would take less staff if we stayed there. Safer storage of the items, definitely a cleaner environment.